Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. To tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A six-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back nine on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 senior pulled within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal at West Ham tomorrow, and Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. To tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A six-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back nine on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 senior pulled within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal at West Ham tomorrow, and Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. To tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of lead as Arsenal are at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. To tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, 2 goals for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skimmed the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of lead as Arsenal are at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. To tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, 2 goals for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by one shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is two back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are three 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal at West Ham tomorrow, and Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sungjae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under. And
Store for this evening. If you are joining, warm welcome. It's independent off-tube studio commentary. Bolton Wanderers hosting Bradford City. I'll take you through all the lineups and all the changes in just a moment. But it's myself, Lewis Raftery, joined by Paul Shubakovic to take you through all the action this evening. And as I said, Paul, the playoffs have been really tense so far, especially because it's a 2-legged affair. How would you see this one going?
It's a difficult one to call, Lewis. I mean, we've had 3 playoff games so far, 2 from the Championship and 1 from League One, and we've had 1 goal between the 3 of them. So that is a good indication of just how tight these games are going to be. I think early on in these games, all the sides are going to be let's not lose rather than let's go out for the win. Because as you say, it is 2 legs. There's still plenty of time to get those winning goals. But in this particular tie, I think both these teams had a little bit of a struggle for form going into the playoffs. I still probably just about give it to Bolton over the 2 games, but a lot depends on how well they do this evening. If they don't go to Bradford with some sort of lead, it could be difficult, but they're on the charge now on the home side.
Down the right-hand side they come, ball to the edge of the area, looking to create something. Instead they go back to Sheehan. I won't bring you the lineups in a moment. After this Bolton attack down the left-hand side, Sissoko, a man who scored in the 3-0 EFL Cup win earlier this season for the Wanderers. I will say both sides fielding not full 11s, is what I'll say, quite secondary containing that cup. Foul there in the middle by Rodriguez on Lapsley. Free kick for Bradford. So quickly, Bolton have made 2 changes from a 3-2 defeat on the last day against Luton. That's why Bradford has scooped ahead of them. They won 2-1 against Exeter. Out goes Conway and Kenny. And into the lineup comes Johnston and Irahan, whereas for the Bantams, unchanged from a 2-1 win against Exeter on the final day. So quickly for the Wanderers, it's Bonham in goal, a back four of Osai, Tutu, skipper Toll, Farino and Johnston, Rodriguez and Sheehan the two holders, Cozy Dubry, Irahan and Cisco supporting Burstow, who leads the line. Whereas for Bradford, it's Sam Walker in goal, back three of Joe Wright, Aidan Baldwin and Curtis Tilt, left hand side Torre, right hand side Neuville as full backs, if you will, with attacking wing backs, Metcalf and skipper Power as the two holders, and a forward three of Lapsley, Jackson and Sarcevic. Jensen Metcalf does well to win the ball there, but plays it back to Baldwin. Referee this evening as well is Martin Coy, the official for all the action this evening, and you're spot on in what you said, Paul. It's almost don't lose it. It's more important, of course, for the home side to get a positive result. For Bradford, I think as long as you just don't lose, you've kind of won this evening.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you said to Graham Alexander that you go back to Valley Parade with a draw, of course, with the away goals not having any impact at all in playoffs or indeed in any competitions really these days, it is just a case of being level into the second leg, and you'll feel like you have a chance. But if from Bolton's point of view, if they can go to Valley Parade with a lead, a goal, maybe even 2-goal lead, then potentially there might just be that little bit more of an edge for the home side this evening. But already both managers looking on tentatively. We saw Stephen Schumacher there just getting a couple of points to one of his players, and Graham Alexander already making notes as well.
He's got his pen and his pad out, so already the former Burnley player, he's having just thinking already early on maybe what he likes, what he doesn't like. Ball forward for Jackson. It's nodded on for Sarcevic. Wanted his goalkeeper to come out there and claim it. Did Toll, and in the end he just nods it back, and Bolton will come away with the ball. Of course, these sides didn't meet too long ago on the 25th of April. 1-1 draw there at Valley Parade. So both sides have met quite recently, it has to be said. Sarcevic down the left-hand side, the Bradford City player of the year in terms of the club and the fans and everything like that. He's had a great season. Of course, he was involved in that goal that sent them up a year ago, and I think they've had a fantastic season. They had a great start, dropped off a little bit, but the start they had has really carried them to the end of the season. Ball forward off the head of Torre, out of play for a throw-in. And we were talking pre-match going into this, saying that when you look at these two teams, you finally point out that no one has the merit to be there, but these are two sides that over the last 20, 30 years, apart from the last decade really, have been Championship, Premier League sides, haven't there? And both teams will be wanting to return there into the Championship. It's that first step of then getting there, and we'll go from there.
It absolutely is. Both these teams have stadiums and fan bases really that would justify being certainly in the second tier and making a push for the top tier as well. Of course, both have had their issues off the field in terms of ownership and financial worries. Both have spent time in the bottom tier in the last 10 years as well, which is something they certainly want to avoid going forward. But certainly the signs are good. It's almost a full house, pretty much a full house here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. It's a big old ground as well, and as I say, Bolton have a lot of sleeping fans who were waiting for that time when the club is starting to push on again, and it feels like that time could be soon.
It could. I think as well, of course, went into this game, this is absolutely no offence to the other leg, but these are probably the two more well-known sides in the playoff pitch. It looks like a decent evening as well at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. It's a big stadium, it is absolutely massive, of course, former Premier League stadium as well. Offside 2-2 on the right hand side, looking to link up there, too much on it, Cozy Dubry just can't reach that pass there from Irahan, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. Just about to hit the 6-minute mark. Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. Who will take an advantage into the game in 5 days' time on Thursday evening. Bradford, they haven't beaten Bolton for a good while. Of course, not always have the two sides played in the same division. The last time Bradford beat Bolton was in late 2019 in the EFL Trophy. So it's been quite a while, and of course, as I say, Bradford haven't been in the Premier League for a while. Bolton spent well over a decade in there, and then neither side really measured up with each other. So they haven't actually played a lot over the last 25, 30 years or so. Poor pass picked up by Wright. Neuville picks it up. Nice pass into Sarcevic. Looks to Dinky. Nice pass out to Lapsley. Does exactly that. Wright getting forward. Metcalf. Again, what will be interesting to see, will the formations play a part? Ball into the box, punched away by the goalkeeper. Not really confidently. Metcalf tries to keep the play alive, but Going to nod it back. Long ball forward for Tilt. It's always going to be an awkward one. Torre does well to get in front of Cozy Dubry. It's a bit of a soft one, but we always see them. The defender gets in the way and goes down there. What will be interesting this evening for me, it's always interesting when it's a back four, back against the back five, or back forever you like to look at it. It's can Bolton get their wingers in behind the wing backs and have one-on-ones against the wide centre backs, which you prefer, or can Bradford almost overload the wing backs and get them against full backs? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to involve players from other sort of lines in that midfield and defence pushing on to try and give themselves that extra advantage. We just saw that replay of that last ball into the box from Bradford. I thought Bonham had all day really to come out and make a catch there, but he ended up punching it, and it wasn't the most confident punch either.
No, it wasn't a great cross, and I thought, as I would always usually quote, a bit of catching practice instead. It made it look very, very awkward. Long ball forward for Jackson, nodded away by Toll, but Sarcevic will let it go out for a throw-in. Bradford have been quite deadly from long throw-ins. Both sides are very physical. We look at Bradford, that back three that they have. Jackson as well. They've got a lot of targets from a long throw-in. Sometimes they almost get the players forward, take it short, and then swing a ball into the box. They're going to take it short at least. Back to Torre from Power. The skipper dinks it forward, looking for Torre. Nice ball into the penalty box, across the face of goal. Defended well by Farino, and he will hack it long. No one really got there. It was a decent ball from Torre. Decent area, no one really there. But that was a lovely ball from Power. The skipper, he's at the heart of everything that Bradford really do. He's been a great signing for them, and he's really carried them as a skipper, coming and brought great leadership. But that was a good attack from Bradford.
It was a good attack from Bradford. I mean, you made the point about Power. We know his stats. I mean, he's the league leader in terms of turnovers, in terms of passes, in terms of touches. He really is that main link man for Bradford in that central midfield. And say Bradford just starting to find their feet a little bit more as after what was more of a positive start from Bolton, I would say, in the first 5 minutes. But the last 2 or 3 minutes are starting to look better now for the visitors.
Have the foot on the ball and starting to look a bit more confident, as Paul rightfully says. That's a ball pass picked up by Jackson, feeds it into Sarcevic, opens up his body, great block at the back. Bradford still coming forward. No, Johnston intercepts, but Metcalf gets his foot there. And it's a chase on to get the ball. The fullback clears it away. Round of applause there. You can just see, I don't think it was actually a bad pass back to Towell. I think that's Jackson sniffing out, it's a bad chance I get my foot in there.
It's good work from Jackson. I don't know, maybe Sarcevic just needs to pull the trigger a little bit quicker here. I mean, Bolton guilty of perhaps just being a little bit too laid back in terms of that defensive possession. But then Sarcevic has 2 touches, then he gets into the box, then he looks up, and that just gives Bolton time to get players back into the air. I mean, take nothing away. It is a fantastic diving block there from Toll, but really, the Sarcevic should have pulled the trigger a little bit earlier. Here come Bradford down the right-hand side. Ball in there from Nerf Field, just a little bit over. In fact, he plays it a little bit too late in the end. I think it was already out for a goal kick before he crossed it.
Yeah, spot on there. And I think you're right about Sarcevic. He takes too long, he slows it down, doesn't he? As you said, it's spot. It's a great block from Farino. Do you think as well, and I mean, it doesn't go to the goalkeeper, so we never know, he might pick it out in the top corner, he can't do. Was it a little bit too obvious what Sarcevic was trying to do as well?
Yes, because he was taking that long and he was opening his body up. He's a right footer coming in from the left-hand side, so you know he's going to shoot across the goalkeeper to find that far corner. And in the end, Bonham never even had to make the save as Bolton going on the attack down the left-hand side. I thought that Sissoko had just let that go out of play. That's now been confirmed by the linesman. But so far, decent sort of pace to the game. I think there is a nervousness about both teams, but there's also a confidence that they can pick out defensive mistakes in their opposition as well.
100%. It was a lovely ball from Burstow from right to left and just got away from Sissoko. Bright start to this game. Just over 10 minutes played. If you are joining, it's still goalless. Bolton 0 and Bradford 0. You'd say the best chance just fell a few moments ago. Antoni Sarcevic blocked away well by Farino, the Bolton defender, but really opened up they were after a poor pass at the back, sniffed out by Jackson, and the Bantams number 10 nearly taking advantage. Bolton coming forward, ball down the right hand side. Curtis Tilt gets in front of Cozy Dubry, but it falls nicely for the winger, ball into the box. It's not a great one, cleared away. Sarcevic will pick it up back to Torre, who will clear it away long. Heavy touch Jackson, will he take it off the toes of Toll? No, he won't. And Bolton will come away with the ball there. Was that Tilt almost, he was committing a little bit too early and Coach Drew went, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's that classic defender mistake of worrying too much about body checking the opponent without actually worrying about where the ball is, and all of a sudden it was taken advantage of there by Koza Dubry, but not taken advantage of fully, because although he did well to get away from Tilt, the ball into the box was quite a disappointing one.
It was almost as well, I think maybe Tilt saying I'm bigger and stronger, let me just bang, shoulder you off, and Koza Dubry just stopped for a second. Tilt nearly flew himself off of the pitch, and as you said, I think the only problem there for Bolton, as you would say. It was a poor ball into the box, but that's just showing that's your winger getting in behind the wing back, isn't it, and getting at the defender.
It absolutely is, and that's going to encourage Kosi Dubry to do that again, because Tilt is a big, strong defender, but one thing he isn't, he's not quick.
No.
And that's something that Kosi Dubry can certainly have over him.
Although he's playing as a wide centre-back, he's on the left, Wright is on the right, Joe Wright, and Baldwin is in the middle. He's a physical big centre-back, great at defending crosses and such like that, but you don't really want wingers running at him. I can imagine he'll be thinking, I don't want that, please can you, Torre, get back and help me out in that fashion. Bolton, though, have a throw-in high on the left-hand side. That will be 10 yards off of where the corner flag will be. It will be a long throw from Johnson into the front post. It's not a down burst, though. Back to the edge area for Sissoko. Strike is blocked away, but it's still in the penalty area. Bradford yet to clear their lines. Finds its way back to Sissoko. Floats one into the back sticks. Heads go up. Tilt is there. Again, that's what he's good at. Defending set pieces. Crosses into the box. It's always going to be awkward when you're going to play with his stature in there. But it will be a set piece, and Bolton are applying the pressure.
They are. Now it's Bolton's turn to put a bit more pressure. Bradford were applying their pressure from midfield, and there was one ball picked off when they were pressing. But now it's Bolton actually just doing it through slow, steady possession, wearing down the opposition. And now they have a set piece.
Goals from corners most this season. Plymouth well and above everyone else on 20. Luton on 13. Bolton on 12. So third most goals from corners. Played in short burst over the strike is blocked away. Second chance blocked away again. It was an early corner that caught Bradford napping there. Sheehan with another ball into the back sticks. Too much on it. Sissoko will pick it up near the corner flag. Plays it back, Kosi Dubry floats one in, chested down to the edge of the area. Strike comes in from Johnston, just gets over it a little bit, slices it. It was always awkward on the half volley on the edge of the area there. But that was a well worked corner. It's almost just fizzed in, if you will, from Rodriguez. Of course, you can see the movement. It's been worked on in the training ground. Bradford block both shots, but a creative set piece.
Yeah, it was a creative set piece. It worked in terms of where it reached its intended target, and the shot was made there by Burster. But unfortunately, from Bolton's point of view, just too many Bradford bodies in the way. They did have everyone back, and then once that ball is teed up for Johnston, I don't blame him going for goal because the invitation was there, but he's just leaning back too much, and the shot is a long way over in the end.
And as well, it's no offence to Johnston, if your left back's having the shot there, you'd feel a bit more confident than if that was a burst or Kosi Dubry might be like, oh, let's close this one down. But that was a good piece. It's a good sequence from Bolton. From that goal kick, though, long ball forward, player down. I want to say it's offside 2-2 for Bolton. Looks like he's just gone up, and there might be a collision of heads, might have caught an unfortunate elbow, maybe unfortunately. So there will just be a pause in play, and both teams can just grab a bit of a breather. But you were spot on about the other playoff games. So you're not missing anything if you are just joining goalless between the two. Bolton 0, Bradford 0. This is on Bolton, and not in the first 15 minutes to go and get a goal or two, but 1-0, 2-1. If you just take that advantage in, that's what you need to do, because if you've got to go to Valley Parade, massive stadium, I'm sure the fans on Thursday, they'll be absolutely crazy, they'll be going bananas in the stands. That's not a place you want to go to Thursday evening to go and get a result, whereas if you go in minimum one goal, you'd at least feel confident in that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it puts a lot less pressure on Bolton, knowing that they have a lead to defend, and it means that they can try and play their attacking football away from home, and if they can get another goal, then it puts even more pressure on Bradford. It's just worth mentioning as well, that's a jump there from Caden Jackson. He does catch, I say, to there in the, as he's jumping for that, and as I say, the referee's not made anything of that, Martin Coy. I didn't see much of a reaction from the Bolton players either, but I thought there was a little bit of intent in what Jackson did there.
I don't know if maybe one of the defenders is going, don't worry, next time we go up, I'll have that, and we'll give you a bit of a receipt, maybe old school, I'm not sure. So for the moment, Bolton are down to 10. I don't think it's anything that will need a substitute or anything like that, but just getting the medical attention and the recovery needed is the Bolton fullback. Of course, whoever does win this two-legged affair will face either Stevenage or Stockport County in the playoff final at Wembley. Of course, Stockport 1-0 winners in the first leg, so it is advantage to Stockport. We'll have to wait and see, though, who does win over that two-legged affair and who wins here. 16 minutes played, Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. Really good start. Clearest cut chance, you'd have to say again, is for Sarsfield, but Bolton have found themselves in the Bradford penalty area a good few times. They won it well in the middle. Power is forced to go back to Tilt. Takes a good few touches and Looks to fumble along to the right-hand side. Headed away by Johnston. Only as far as a throw-in though, but good momentum. And it's been a good back and forth so far. I know we're only 6.5 minutes in, but Bradford have had a little bit more momentum, then Bolton have taken it away. And what I like to see from Bradford is, again, maybe if it's 0-0 in the last 15 minutes, right, we'll shut up shop. Let's try and get a draw out of this. I accept that. But they have come to get a result here. That's what I like to see.
I think they have. I think they know that sitting back, trying to defend for 90 minutes against the Bolton team that like to go forward is just a recipe for disaster. They have to try and offer something going forward. But as you say, you offer Graham Alexander the chance to be level with Bolton going back to Valley Parade. I think he'd probably take it now and say, yeah, and end the game now. I'm happy with that. But from Bolton's point of view, they just need to try and maintain that level they've had in the last 5 minutes where they have been the better side. They don't want to let Bradford back in when they had their good spell. And they're going forward now, are the visitors.
Nodded forward, looking for Jackson. Will it fall kindly for Sarswich? No, it won't. Well intercepted by Sheehan. Plays a first time pass out to Cozy Dewberry. He's got space to drive down the right hand side. No real support though for the young winger. So he goes back and then he looks like the look of looking at running at Torre and Tilt. Nice overlapping run from outside 2-2. Creates a little bit of space. He goes back to Sheehan, who plays a nice ball almost across the middle of the field. It's all the way from right to left to Sissoko. Plays the ball in behind, looking for the run of his fullback Johnston. It's won by Lapsley, but then a heavy touch from the Bantams forward means that Bolton do come away with the ball. At the back with the two centre-backs, and now with the skipper Tull looking for options. And Bradford can sit back and defend. They can press a little bit higher. Usually, as what they're doing now is Metcalf out of possession on power one or the other. One sits back and one tries to almost join in a high press, so they're not all just sat back. Sissoko, that's another heavy touch. And for the first time this evening, from a pass into him. Okay, that one, the first one was a cross-field ball, so a little bit more awkward to bring down, but he's lost the ball there. And is that just not for maybe a bit of nerves from the youngster?
Yeah, I think so. I think that he apologised for the first one, which was that cross-field ball. This time, it's more of just a basic area of not concentrating on the ball whilst it was under his foot. But he needs to maintain that possession. He is playing in the final third, so it's important for Bolton to maintain that possession once the ball actually gets through to him.
23-year-old, again, scored in the 3-0 EFL trophy victory earlier this season. And again, I do remember actually covering that. Very, very rotated squads, but still a good win and a good game for Bolton. Sissoko, a few step overs. Newville not going to fall for that one, but he only puts it out for a throw-in for Bolton. Halfway into the Bradford half, long it goes. Looking for Rodriguez. Can he get on the end of it? He tries to just swing one into the box. Sissoko brings it down, but there's a foul, a push there by Burstow. All right, he's unhappy. Sissoko, to be honest, takes a bit of a heavy touch off his chest. It looks like it would be closed down anyway. But what I will say again is a little bit soft. It's a shoulder, but my thing always is Burstow has a look at the defender, so you almost give yourself away.
Absolutely. We saw that in one of our earlier games today as well. As soon as you have a player who spends the entire time looking at the opposition player rather than looking at where the ball is, it's difficult to give him any kind of credit at that stage, and the referee was right to give that free kick. And so we can see, as we see Johnny Kenny, he's certainly going to be one missing for Bolton with that injury. And he's had 5 goals for them since the beginning of April.
Yeah, he's been one of the most on-form players in the league as well, in League One. But you spot on that. I feel if Jackson would have gone up with right there, apologies if Burstow goes up with right and he's not looking, they're both looking at the ball, that's a harsh foul for me. But Burstow just has a look, yeah, you're there, just going to give you this little bit of a nudge. And a foul rightfully given, but Bolton coming forward again. Dewberry fires one into the back sticks for Sissoko, nearly falls for a teammate. Strike comes in, falls for Cozy Dewberry, when he likes to curl one on his right boot, falls in for a strike, blocked away. Looks like 2-2 trying to keep it alive, and Bradford are really deep in their own half at the moment. They get it out of it though. Only as far as Sheehan though, now back into the Bantams half. Johnston out to the left hand side to Sissoko, 1-on-1 against Baldwin. Newville comes over, maybe a little bit too forceful there. Referee Martin Coy says no. I will say he almost puts his arm a little bit over. I'd like to see it again if I'm being honest. I don't know if it's the elbow.
I mean, there's Nerffield, I mean, there's a little bit of contact there from Nerffield. Then there's a little bit of a follow-through from the Bolton man breaking into the penalty area there as well. But I think overall the referee just about gets that one right.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it, where I'm quite because I don't think it's a foul, but when you probably see the fans behind, that's where I think it can sway you, can't it, a little bit, where 20,000 odd are probably saying foul. It's a bit hard sometimes to say no to that possession over the last 10 minutes. 77% for Bolton, so they have really found their feet have the horse. And again, we'll say Bradford aren't a massive possession side either, so sitting back a little bit more will suit them to a degree. Of course, that back five stretched all the way over the pitch to help and defend. Basically going from right to left and left to right here with the back four are Bolton. Toll out to offside 2-2. Himself and Cozy at Dewberry looking to link up. Instead he goes short into the middle for Heron. Does well to come away with the ball. Does he win the throw-in though? Yes, he will. So Bolton gaining advantage again. About 22 minutes on the clock, and again it'll be a throw-in. Bolton wanting to control this game now as a whole. 70% possession. They've had 6 shots, not on target though. Have Bolton. 1 shot for Bradford. Obviously it will count as off target because it was blocked away by Farino, but realistically Salzvich's strike would have been on target if not blocked away. Lovely ball from left to right, cleared away only as far as Power. Back to Tilt, who will loft it long. And will that be a throw-in for Bradford or a throw-in for Bolton? It will be for Bolton. I think it took a deflection after it was being cleared there, but clearly the referees and linesmen can see more than me on my screens. But we are hitting 23 minutes shortly. Really good opening half of the first half here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium with independent off-tube studio commentary. All the action of this playoff semi-final first leg in League One. Bolton 0, Bradford 0. I'll pass over the ball in a second. The ball comes in looking for Burstow. He's stretching to get there. And even if he does take a touch, it would have been awkward with the 2 defenders around him. But as I say, it's goalless so far, and take us through to that full half-time whistle. Pass you over to Paul.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Yeah, and Bolton are starting to really find their feet now. It was an even start. First 7-8 minutes, the two sides seem to be exchanging blows in terms of attacking possession, but now we're getting a good 7-8 minute spell where Bradford are really struggling to get over the halfway line, and Bolton are just starting to get that little bit more attacking possession, albeit haven't really tested Sam Walker too much yet in the Bradford goal. On that last move there, Burster just trying to run onto it, couldn't quite get it on target. But now Bradford looking to restart play. It's a crooked clearance though from Sam Walker, the goalkeeper. It sails straight out for a throw to Bolton here on the right hand side, just inside Bradford territory. Walker with his arm up to apologise, but Bolton go back towards Toll and Farino Joseph anyway, just quite happy to keep possession here. Just to remind you, there's one other game on our service right now, which is the game from the Scottish Premiership, where it's currently goalless between Motherwell and Hearts. Hearts still looking to complete. Would be an incredible story if they could pit the old firm and become Scottish champions. They are still very much in with they're favourites really, aren't they, to do it from this position. Just got to make sure they get the win this evening. And that game is also available on our service, as indeed will all the games from the Scottish Premiership tomorrow, as well as the Premier League, as well as the EFL playoffs. Ball now down the left-hand side here from Sarcevic. Won't get through towards Jackson. Bolton then back in possession. Sheehan's dropped a little bit deeper as well. Haven't seen too much of Hannon in the middle either. He needs to get into the game a little bit more, but the ball out played back towards the edge of the penalty area again. It's over towards the left-hand side now. A ball over the top for Sissoko to chase. Ball played in towards Burstow. He heads it back. That's a quick clearance though from Joe Wright back into midfield. Ball reaches Josh Sheehan. Out towards a side 2-2 here on the right. Oh, that pass though to Kozia Dubry is over here. Curtis Tilt will easily get there first, although that's really good work from Kozia Dubry. He closes him down and wins that ball back as well. Bolton are back in possession. It's Sheehan in the middle of the park, back in towards Haron. Haron then down the left-hand side. Johnston in towards Sissoko. There is an overlap there from Johnston, but Sissoko prefers to go back into midfield. He then gets that ball back from Haron and he's in towards the edge of the area, exchanging passes now with Johnston. Oh, he just runs straight into the block there from George Lapsey. And Bradford have it back now with a clearance from Northfield, which is charged down by Sissoko. And Bradford just quite happy to clear it anywhere right now.
Yeah, as you said earlier, about 5 minutes ago, they can't get out of their own half, really, can they? Even if they have the ball, they knock it around them, then they're forced to clear it or they lose it because Bolton are pressing high and pressing well. They're just making it really awkward. Looking at the attacking areas already, similar to Manchester City a few hours ago for us. The attacking left-hand side, 44%, 35% down the right. only 21 in the centre, so quite clearly it's very heavily left-hand side for Bolton, but also 35% off the right. It does mean they are trying to stretch this Bradford
they
side.
are. I mean, Sissoko's had plenty of the ball, but so has Asai, Tutu and Kozia Dubry on that right-hand side. Just after I gave Hearts the big talk up and said that they were favourites in the SPL title race, Motherwell have just scored. So it's now Motherwell 1, Hearts 0 in that game. But I suppose it just makes it a little bit more exciting there for the Edinburgh side. They've really now got to try and go and do everything they can to get level in that game. Here come Bolton again into midfield. Nice touch there from Ekranon, playing it down the right-hand side here for Kozia Dubry. He runs straight into Toure. He wants a free kick for the foul. Toure doesn't agree, but the referee does. It will be a free kick to Bolton here down the right-hand side. And it was Sheehan waiting to take it, but actually Martin Coy has just told him to wait. Doesn't want this free kick to be taken quickly. He's going to mark up all the lines. And it's a very long way out from goal. I mean, it's at least 45 yards, if not further. So certainly there won't be any efforts on goal here from Bolton. And in fact, any ball towards the penalty area is going to be seen a long way off as well.
100%. And again, Bradford are usually very good at defending set pieces, but Bolton have already seen they can score them, and they've been very creative with them, can't you? So it's important just to maybe test them, looking for a good delivery, so see if you can just cause some chaos in the box.
Yeah, waiting to do exactly that is Ruben Rodriguez. He's not been in the game too much yet, and he can be a really important player for Bolton. That's a good cross into the penalty area. It's headed down. Both players with their arms up as it goes out towards this corner flag. It stays in play. In fact, it's played back towards Rodriguez. He's in midfield. He then goes square to Ekranon. Down towards Sissoko on the left-hand side. Sissoko, his cross ends up being an overhit cross, which is actually a very tame shot towards goal, and an easy save for Walker.
Straight Walker, as you say, it was right where your hands. I don't need to jump, don't need to move. It was easy. Again, if that's a little bit under hit, it probably is a nice ball just in front of the keeper, so he has to make the decision, do I come or do I go, and someone could get on the end of it there. And Bolton again, they're finding the feet, but what you would say, well, you'd be happy with your Graham Alexander's side, what, just under half an hour played. Now we've got a lot of the first half to go, but you'd be happy that look, we're weathering the storm. We had a nice little bit of spell ourselves, and we'll have that maybe later in this first half or in the second half. But what's really important is the only chances we're giving to Bolton are chances outside the area. There hasn't been a one-on-one we've let them have yet.
No, there hasn't, and I think that from Bolton's point of view, they'll be very pleased that they've managed to keep Bradford very quiet. They'll also feel as though they probably need to do just a little bit more now that they are on top, because you know there's going to be some sort of response from Bradford. In fact, they've already gone up the other end of the field and won themselves a throw-on in an attacking position. Josh Neufville is getting ready to take this throw-on himself. Not too much of a run-up, but we know that he can get some distance on this throw. This occasion it is just a short one in towards Max Power. Back towards Neufville. He skips away and he's all the way towards the byline. Oh, he waits too long for the cross though. And in the end it's a low one along the ground, which is easily cleared, and it's out for a throw on the right hand side.
Yeah, easily. Well, it was a great play for him to get past his man originally, wasn't it? It's a fantastic play, but the cross is quite poor, and that's why he needs to be better. I mean, I like him as a wing back more than Toure. I think he's basically a winger playing there, ball forward cleared away by Bolton, whereas Toure is more of your traditional, I think, hard work. He's got a great ball into him. He's not going to get in the box and cause so much case, but that's why I think they almost complement each other, because Neufville almost does end up being a right winger and it comes to being a back four sometimes, but yeah, the delivery there, that's what's been lacking this game, delivery into the box.
Yeah, well, on this occasion, the throw-on into the box is just about cleared by Bolton. Then Lapsey tries to get it back in again. It's cleared back towards the halfway line this time, where Max Power is going back towards Curtis Tilt. He then tries a long diagonal ball down towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area, where Sarcevic was the furthest forward. He collides with Kozia Dubry, but actually, after all of that, Anthony Sarcevic was actually in an offside position.
Yeah, so no come for it. Again, nice idea to switch out to left-hand side. I mean, to me, he is on. The linesman flag has gone off offside.
He is on. I completely agree with you. There's no way he's offside there. And as I say, the EFL clubs are very proud of the fact they don't want any VAR, and they certainly would get a lot of support from Premier League fans. As we saw, there was a survey a few weeks ago, results of which were published, where actually the majority of those surveyed don't like VAR in the Premier League at all. So you could argue that the EFL clubs are ahead of the curve with that. But on that occasion, I think Bradford would feel very shortchanged, because there was no offside. And now Bolton have won themselves a free kick, and Graham Alexander's furious.
No, he's not happy at all. He's the Bradford boss, and again, it's one of them, isn't it? Because he'll have this game plan. It's one of them where it's going well. Okay, let's not drop and make mistakes and do anything like that. The fourth official's trying to explain to him this, and he's just going, I'm having none of that. But Bolton have the ball and still coming forward.
Yeah, they are still coming forward, but Graham Alexander really was very upset there. The fourth official really having to try to come coming down. But now Sissoko with the ball down the left-hand side. Ekranon had gone on the overlap. His cross into the penalty area was a low one, easily cleared back into midfield. Sheehan and Sissoko sliding in to keep that ball alive for Bolton, but they're not able to. It's brought away by Caden Jackson here now for Bradford. He's over the halfway line. Gets brought down in the end there by Ruben Rodriguez. And that will be, well, at the very least, it'll be a throw to Bradford. It might even be a free kick.
Yeah, I believe it might be a free kick, because watching it back there, it's a great play from Jackson. It will be a throw in water, sorry, it definitely will be a throw. It's off the field. I thought it was on the field still, and the ball was trickling off that he stamped on his foot. Again, nothing malicious. He's just trying to put his foot on the floor, and he just catches him. So it'll be a sore one for Jackson, of course, and Rodriguez, I think, at the same time kind of went, not get up, but almost like, I didn't mean to, but yeah, you can roll on the floor if you want.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rodriguez would be happy with that. We're saying that he certainly said it's no intent from him to try and cause any injury. There's a push in the back there the referee can't ignore. Just a little bit too blatant there in the end from Alec Baldwin, and that's Aidan Baldwin, I beg your pardon. That one's been taken very quickly here now by Bolton back towards their own defensive line. That'd be quite something, wouldn't it? Alec Baldwin playing for Bradford City as centre-back, but in any case, it's now played all the way back towards Farino Joseph, and the visitors once again without the ball. I think after 32 minutes, Graham Alexander, I mean, we saw how angry it was about the refereeing decision just there, but overall, there's not really been too much work for his goalkeeper, some work for his defenders, but I think away from home to Bolton, he'd say good, but probably could be a little better.
100%, yeah, that's what I think it'll be. We're trying to stay positive, or to keep that positivity flying in the changing room. This time of year, unless you got thumped in a first leg, you don't want to bring anything negative in, do you? Foul there by Newville, it might be a first yellow card. It's quite cynical, that's also waiting for full combination, but it will be a yellow card. I think the only thing he'll be disappointed in is it won't be maybe the midfield and defence, it'll be that we haven't created enough chances.
Yeah, I think so. I think he would say that perhaps they just sat back a little bit for too long and allowed Bolton to have that midfield advantage. Interesting, the referee there was almost apologetic towards Josh Nerfville there, saying, well, you know, it's just the way you've tangled with him. I can't really ignore it. But Nerfville certainly was very frustrated when he got that yellow card initially. Our referee Martin Coy just explaining that the way he tangled with the Bolton man, he just couldn't ignore it. It was stopping a decent run down that left-hand side. So he does become the first Bradford man into the book. Is going to be a free kick now for Bolton from a long way out. Rodriguez's ball is too low, it's too flat, easily headed out by Lapsey. Quickly taken here by Sissoko. The throw back in towards Rodriguez. He gets brought down. Bradford want to go on the counter. They're not going to get a chance to, though, because the referee has brought it back for that foul from Caden Jackson.
Yeah, he's going to get forwards foul, isn't he? Just trying to nip in there a little bit too late. Always looks like a foul. And again, a lot of pressure being put on the referee very early on, quite clearly from both sets of players. Just having a word is Jackson with the referee. Again, Jackson will be pleading that, no, I didn't get the ball, ref, it was my teammate that did it. I thought if I'm honest, I thought he went for the man and won the ball, so it's always to be the same. We'll watch it back now. He just goes away from him. Yeah, he doesn't even win the ball, actually.
He's nowhere near the ball, really. I mean, like, I can understand why Jackson would feel as though he slipped it earlier before, and then Rodriguez trod on his foot, and I think he was a little bit annoyed about that. But, I mean, let's say, if we're going to give Rodriguez the benefit of that, we'll say that was accidental. But now it's a free kick for Bolton. It's taken low this time into the penalty area, trying to turn inside the box there. Was Kozia Dubry, but he was blocked, well blocked there by Nerfville. It's out for another throw to Bolton on the left-hand side. Sissoko, he's going to leave this one for Johnston. He goes back into midfield here for Sheehan. Sheehan into Ekrajon. Down the left-hand side here now. Johnston into Sissoko, just at the edge of the area. He's got two Bradford players closing him down. He just about keeps the ball alive. He's heading all the way to the byline. Gets pushed off the ball there by Baldwin. But I think he has won his side, at the very least, a throw on. In fact, it might even be a corner.
Yeah, I think it will, but just while he is placed the ball, and if we've seen an official point, we haven't seen it yet, but they are just looking a lot better. Again, the first 10 minutes were quite frantic. I think both sides had that almost momentum and flow. Since the 15th minute mark, 20th minute mark, they've really controlled the game of Bolton. They've only, though, mustered up 7 shots, none on target. They want to change it with this one.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? They haven't really tested Walker at all. The referee's just coming across to check that the ball is in the quadrant. I don't know why, because it never is in any ground. They might as well just draw a little dot right at the edge of where that quadrant is, because that's the only place the ball is ever really placed anyway. Waiting for the day that a player just puts it right in the middle of the quadrant, just to be different. But it's going to be whipped in here now from the left-hand side. It's Sheehan standing over it, puts a lot of pace on this one. It's nodded clear towards the edge of the area. It's going to go out of play. It's going to be taken quickly again here on the left-hand side. Rodriguez back into Sheehan. He was being closed down, but he manages to get that ball back towards his goalkeeper, Bonham, who's wandered a long way out from his penalty area. He lifts the ball back into the Bradford half, headed clear by Nerfil. Drops to Lapsey, and then it's Max Power with a long ball over the top. One for Jackson to chase, and Jackson, now then! Jackson gets brought down here by Sheehan as he's heading towards goal. I mean, Sheehan's looking like he's done absolutely... I can't actually believe that that's not even been given as a free kick. I mean, to me, I thought that Sheehan knew what he was doing there. I thought that Jackson was going to break away from Sheehan and be one-on-one from the right-hand side. And Sheehan has fallen into him, made it seem as though it was completely accidental. And the officials, the referee, and let's face it, the linesman, he's on that side, he's close as well, and none of them saw anything wrong.
No, they didn't. And I'm really shocked, as you say, I'm really shocked that's not for a free kick. He had to pace it to beat him with everything.
It could have been a red card, depending on how they classed it all. But the ball hasn't gone out of play since then. Bolton actually kept possession, and they went up the other end. Sissoko's now been robbed of it. The ball is cleared over the halfway line, and it's kept alive here now by Toll for Bolton. But I'm very keen for this ball to go out of play because I want to see another replay of that. Looking at it live, I thought that Josh Sheehan knew exactly what he was doing, and certainly if we aren't, our camera, the pictures we're getting don't quite cover the touchline, so I'm not quite sure what Graham Alexander. But Graham Alexander was upset about his team giving away a free kick on the halfway line, so I'm not sure how he's going to react when he thinks he might have had a man in one-on-one and potentially a red card for his team.
Yeah, it's just not being. In terms of looking at chances for Bradford, they're not, as you said, not really making them either. They're struggling to do that. And if you can Jackson, that's the question. Is he? I think it's a foul on the yellow card personally. But looking at it, he's not away. He's away, isn't he? Not away, but also maybe he's got the pace to beat the two defenders, and then he is one-on-one. So who knows?
It's a difficult one. I think that from Jackson's point of view, he had no interest in hitting the deck just for the sake of it. He would have much preferred to stay on his feet and carry on going towards goal. So, as I say, we've still not had a chance to see it, but the ball has been out of play very briefly since that incident. We've still not seen any replay of it. We're into the last 7 minutes of this first half at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium, where it is Bolton 0, Bradford 0 in the League One playoff semi-final first leg. And in the other game on our service right now is coming up to the 38th minute there as well, and it's still Motherwell 1, Hearts 0. So another plot twist in that incredible battle at the top of the SPL. But back here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium, Bolton now in possession down the right-hand side here with Asay Tutu. He's just had to drop a little bit deeper in close down, going back towards Ian Toll. It's with Farino Joseph. Johnston towards Crajon down the left-hand side. Play back in towards Johnston again. Rush here for Bolton, but they definitely have now set their stall out as being the side that are going to have most of the ball in this first half. Bradford have accepted the fact they're just going to have to chase down the possession for most of this half.
100%. Bradford are a real possession side. They're almost will be a possession side if the relegation for scrap, and we need to kind of dominate. Apart from that, I think they're quite happy sitting on the pace, sitting off having the pace of the wing backs, and Sarcevic, he can pick out a pass to two other forwards, and Jackson and Lapsley, they get in good positions. So yeah, it's almost just saying that. And again, I can assume at Valley Parade, they'll be the favourites. So then again, that's where they will change it, won't they? And that's what some managers do well and some managers don't do well, is adapting to your opponent.
No, exactly that, and I think that's an additional sort of skill and sort of niche within itself, isn't it? It's how you respond to things whilst the game's going on. It's all well and good to plan for every eventuality before the game, but sometimes a particular player is having an off night, or an opposition player is having the game of his life, and you have to adjust things slightly to try and make up for that as well. But certainly tactically right now, I think that Bolton have worked out that they can get away with the majority of possession, but they're wasting it here. That's a poor ball from Sheehan out towards Asay Tutu. That's out for a throw to Bolton on the left-hand side. I'm impatiently waiting for our TV pictures to finally show us a replay of that incident. We still haven't seen it, and now we've had enough time to have seen it clearly, because that ball has gone out of play. The camera's now focused on both managers. It's gone out for another throw on here. It's a throw on to Bolton now, but Bradford didn't enjoy possession for too long there in the end. Played back towards the edge of the area now. Toll back towards Bonham. But despite all the industry from both teams and a real effort from both sides, particularly from Bolton in trying to get forward, both keepers virtually jobless in this first half.
Yeah, it's been that final product, hasn't it? That final third, passing, shooting, being pretty poor. 7 shots for Bolton, none on target. Now, I will rephrase that in the sense that, well, they have had 6 blocked shots of 7. So they've only had 1 shot that went wide. That was a Johnston effort outside the area. So, yes, but also, it's one of them, isn't it? Oh, we could create them and throw bodies at it, but if you maybe faked it, maybe that's why the bodies go flying and you go for a strike at goal. So maybe 1 or 2 blocks to accept, but a couple of them have also been quite frustrating. Of them, the defender's right in front of me, let me go for a shot. Oh, it's been blocked.
No, absolutely, and match stats confirm it. 7 shots from Bolton, none on target, but then of course there have been a number of block shots. Bradford had one effort, which was off target. I'm assuming that the Sartovic one is being counted as a block shot as well, because that really was probably their best chance when he broke in after Bolton gave it away at the edge of their own penalty area. But as it stands, we're ticking down towards the end of our 7th half of playoff football since at the end of this season, and we've had 1 goal so far. If anyone's seen that goal as well, I mean, that was a goal that was sort of a scrambled goal. There was a bit of controversy in there as well, a couple of individual errors, so it just shows that it is a very, very tense affair. That's not to say that all playoff football is like that. I expect the second legs to be very different, although myself and Lewis are on Millwall v Hull City duty on Monday night. And as I say, we may need the extra caffeine hit after 90 minutes in that one, because I have a feeling that one could go the distance. But you never know. I say both teams could surprise us there. Millwall at home may feel as though they have to do something extra against Hull City. All that's to come. The tension of playoff football is wonderful when you're just an interested, neutral spectator. As soon as it's your team, it's a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's been there with their team, and whether it's playoffs or say a European game, it's a 2-legged affair, isn't it? You don't know how it's going to play out. I think both teams have managed this half very well, if I'm honest. Bolton have done what you expect them to do. Bradford have done what you expect them to do, and they might come forward here just a bit
nearly
too much.
did. Sartovic did well to win the ball initially, but then his diagonal pass out to Lapsey was just a little bit under hit, couldn't quite reach his teammate. And now Bolton have it back down the left-hand side. Johnston finding Sissoko, heading towards the penalty area, but he's been doubled up on here by Bradford defenders. He's threaded that ball through towards Ikrahon, who's just about kept it alive. He needs a bit of extra support, so he goes back towards the edge of his area. Here is Johnston now in towards Ikrahon, playing it back to Sissoko. At the edge of the area, Sissoko now playing it back towards Toll, and then Toll deciding to go for goal from all of 40 yards out. The captain trying to lead by example there, but he ends up lifting it quite a long way over the bar as well.
Yeah, I was just laughing. I want to see his burst or there showing. He turns around and looks at him as if, really? Was that the best idea? I know the frustration might be building of, to go for a shot. And again, I think if that is a burst or a Erhan or a midfielder, Sheehan or Rodriguez, it's a bit less. It's more the centre-back's going for that, okay. And even Stephen Schumacher's going, what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Schumacher certainly wasn't impressed with that at all. I can tell you there's been an equaliser in the game in Scotland. It's now 1-1 between Motherwell and Hearts, but there is a VAR review for that goal, so we'll confirm that in around 30 seconds as to whether that goal is going to stand or not. But if it does stand, that's an important equaliser for Hearts just before half-time in that game, as a free kick's been given Bradford's way. We're into the last 60 seconds of the regulation 45 in this first half. We are going to get a couple of minutes of added time at least. We've had a couple of injuries in this game. Our referee, Martin Coy, has actually had to work quite hard in this game. I wouldn't say it's been aggressive and physical the whole time, but there have been little bursts of it where the referee really has had to get involved.
Yeah, and that's why you say he's had a good game. We give referees that much stick, but we do give them a lot of recognition when they are having good games, and you are spot on. And again, in this much tension, I can imagine it's hard to work with sometimes.
It is, but that's going to be hard to work with for Sartovic, because because Bradford have wasted that free kick inside. It's been lifted over the top. Sartovic chasing it, but he's not going to get on the end of it. I would like to just caveat what we said about praising the referee. We may both change our opinion if we finally get to see a replay of that one chance where Sheehan seemed to take out Jackson as he was trying to break through towards the edge of the Bolton penalty area. But as I say, that happened about 6 or 7 minutes ago. We've still not had a replay of any of that. And now Bradford have actually won the ball high up the field, and it's down to Nerfville down the right-hand side, heading towards the edge of the penalty area. It's Farino Joseph that is blocked him off. Nerfville can't believe it, but the throw's been given Bolton's way.
Yeah, even the linesman said, calm down. It's just a throw-in. And if anything, if I'm Newville, I'm saying, look, I think it should be our throw-in, but let's press high. It's been a minute of added time. They're right in their corner. 60 seconds. Could we snatch a goal before half time? They're sitting off, and I'm not trying to say everyone forward. Bolton could catch them on a counter, but you've got this chance now to maybe just pressure them in their half and create a chance.
No, absolutely that. And we were into just 1 minute of added time. I'm quite surprised by that. I thought we could have had a little bit more when you consider the stoppages we have had in the first half. But Graham Alexander is just trying to get some further positioning for his players for this last bit of play in this first half. I mean, it's just a throw to Bolton inside their own half. I can't imagine that home side are going to have much time to get this done, but we will keep an eye out for that replay at halftime, because I'm fascinated to see exactly how that whole incident played out. But now Bolton lose the ball, and it's Nerfield's ball over the top. Sarcevic trying to tee it up for Jackson. There's enough covering there from Sheehan, then it's quite a strong challenge there from Lapsey, but the referee immediately signals that, in his opinion, George Lapsey just won the ball, and nothing else. That is out for a throw. There might not even be any time to take it, actually, because that is the end of the first half. Martin Coy calls time. So it is goalless here between Bolton and Bradford, and we're back in 15 minutes.
Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances, and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect, as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides, and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances, and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect, as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides, and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances, and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect, as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides, and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances, and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect, as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides, and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances, and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect, as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides, and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half-time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half-time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. In the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first leg of this League One playoff semi-final. It's Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. A first half where Bolton had chances and they were the better, more dominant side you'd expect as they are the home side in this leg. They had a lot of shots, a lot of block shots. Their best chance fell for Burstow inside the area, blocked away. Best chance of the game fell for Sarcevic, that was blocked away by Farino. Half time between the sides and it's 0-0. Half time at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium in the first. And it's a warm welcome back to this evening's independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action from the Tough Sheet Community Stadium, the League One playoff semi-finals first leg between Bolton Wanderers and Bradford City. Currently goalless between the two sides. Bolton, you would say, being the more dominant, the more positive and higher performing side. More shots, none on target. Sam Walker yet to be tested in the Bantams goal. 8 of those shots though, 6 have been blocked, so of course a multitude of them may have been on target. Bradford have only had 1 shot that was also blocked away. Maybe the best one-on-one clear-cut chance after it was played in by Jackson into the feet of Sarcevic, but well defended by Farino for Bolton. So the goalkeeper hasn't been tested, Bonham either. Both sides, you can just feel the tension. It's the first leg of the playoffs, of course. We've already seen a few of them in the Championship and the other League One between Stockport, who got that late goal, of course, against Stevenage. Always the second half seems to open up a little bit more. Same with the second leg as well. So we'll have to see how it does go. Seemingly no changes at half-time. So we'll bring you the lineups in just a moment. No changes from the first kick-off of the game to the referee Martin Coy blowing for the half-time whistle. Bolton do just have the ball and knocking it around quite nicely. It's myself, Lewis Raftery, joined by Paul Shibakovic to take you through all of the action this evening. We'll bring Paul in just a moment as Bolton might come forward. Sheehan finds a ball to Cozy Dubry on that right hand side. Well defended at the moment by Torre, but he takes it past him. Ball into the box, headed away by Wright on as far as the side. 2-2. His header is put back in. Wright nods it down to Torre. The wing back just clears his lines, and this is a good start from Bolton. Good pressure. And we spoke in the first half and at half time myself and Paul saying, look, Bolton are the ones they're going to have to open up. That's the thing. It's their home tie. They've got to try and take the advantage into the second leg at Valley Parade. Because he's Dubry, poor pass picked up by Lapsley. Well defended by Toll, and that might be a foul by Sarcevic. Referee says no. Metcalf is he brought down, but forward pass he plays a nice one. Lapsley will unleash a run of Jackson. Can the Bantam strike on the counter? Ball into the box. Big block from Johnston, and it goes out of play for a set piece for the Bantams. A great start though for Bolton. Good counter there from Bradford, but as I say, Bolton need to be the ones who are coming forward, being more positive.
Yes, they do. I think that they would have felt that they had the lion's share of the better attacking possession in the first half, albeit most of their efforts are blocked, as you mentioned, but they are the side trying to show that little bit more going forward, and I think they just have to try and maintain that. From Bradford's point of view, they'll be very pleased that they've been able to break out here and win themselves a corner.
It's an opportunity to swing one into the box. We already saw how Bolton are a fantastic third best record from set pieces and corners, more specifically in League One. Plymouth were runaway winners with that, with 20 and Luton above Bolton by 1. Let's see how well they are at defending them. There's just a pause. It is independent off-tube studio commentary, so we're looking at the broadcast image. Just for a moment, the linesman is in front of the Bradford taker of the corner. Everyone's in the penalty box. The
Referee's injured.
Yes, it looks like he's pulled a hamstring or something like that. He's stretching himself out, so we might be in for a pause where usually the fourth official comes in, and there might be a backup and he jumps in as fourth official. But the referee is Martin Coyen. Well, it looks like he might have not warmed up for the second half.
No.
It looks like he's pulled something.
He has pulled something, yeah, and he's pointing to his calf. I think it might be his hamstring, but whatever it is, he has got a bit of a problem now, has the referee, and he's going to have to go off here. And whether or not he should be fit enough to stay as the fourth official, but now the fourth official is going to have to come on as the referee.
The fourth official is David Rock, so he will take over. So I won't lie, I don't know how long it takes for a fourth official to get ready in terms of getting the equipment on, and I mean, he might want to warm up as well if the referee was at a first half and comes back in and hits both the muscle. Who knows what? But the fourth official will quickly, if you are joining us, it is goalless. Bolton 0, Bradford 0. Just over 4 minutes into the second half. We are having a quick referee change. Martin Coy off, and coming on in his place is David Rock. So quickly, the lineups, no changes as I say. But for the Wanderers, it's Bonham in goal. A back four at side 2-2, Toll, Farino and Johnston. Rodriguez and Sheehan partnered in the middle with Cozy Dewberry, Irahon and Sissoko, the attacking trio supporting Burstow. For Stephen Schumacher's side. For the Bantams, it's Walker in goal, a back three of Wright, a Baldwin and Tilt, Torre on the left, a yellow card in Newville on the right, Metcalf and Skipper Power, the two holders, and a forward three of Lapsley, Jackson and Sarcevic. And similar to just a thing of a referee coming on and picking up an injury and this and that, for the players, you've just had 15 minutes out, you know, I mean, you've kept yourself warm, I can imagine, and you will want that rest and that mental rest as well. You've almost got yourself ready, you've got yourself prepped. It's almost when you get a VAR check early on, you've come back on and now you've got maybe approach 5 minutes of just, right, hold on lads, we're not ready to go yet. It's almost just takes you down a peg.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, this is where sportsmen really earn their money. You've really got to try and maintain that concentration mentally and physically as well. Whether you're going to do some running on the spot, whether you're going to do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of ball work whilst they're waiting for the referee to come back on. The new referee, of course, to come onto the field. You can see that Stephen Schumacher has just called a couple of his players over, but Graham Alexander is quite happy just to stand back.
Yeah, let his players, I can imagine, as you say, a bit of running around, maybe some balls on the pitch, with a bit of passing drills around just to keep you going, because to the referee as well, they don't need to rush themselves, but they need to get their equipment on. I mean, how many times do you see a referee or a linesman's equipment fail on them in the game, and that needs changing? So I can imagine a fourth official who probably just has an A-piece in might need a bit of time to find out how he's going to play. Of course, as well, the winner of this game will face either of Stevenage or Stockport in the final. Of course, Stockport earlier with a 1-0 lead, last minute goal, mistake at the back, if you will, and Stockport pounced upon that. As Paul said, that's the only goal we've had in the playoffs so far. Of course, we've got League 2 to come tomorrow, which will be important as well. And as I say, usually second half and second legs do open up, but at the moment And it feels really tense, and I will say I'm not sure how many have travelled, and I'm not sure what the allocation was, but when we've seen the Bradford fans, they've really come in their droves. But as well, credit to the Bolton fans. It's a packed out Tough Sheet Community Stadium, so I can imagine that a lot of the fans are probably in the stands thinking, I could have probably stayed inside for a bit and grabbed another beverage or another pie, because we're waiting probably
not really
about 5 or 6 minutes.
You can see smiles on the faces of both sets of players as they're joking about all of this, but fair play. It looks like the fourth official is ready to be the main official now.
Yes, there we go. He's ready. So, as we say, Martin Coy was the official, if you are just joining us, but now coming on was the fourth official, David Rock. And as you said, I assume that Martin Coy will still be able to be the fourth official going forward. So that'll just be the change. And as you say, you can see both players just probably laughing. I won't be surprised if they come off of the pitch for a sub, they might have a word with Martin Coy and just have a cheeky joke or anything.
Absolutely,
like dig. But it will be a corner when we do get back underway for Bradford. Again, this will just be added on to the back end of the game at the end of this second half. It's taken shot by Torrey into the front post. Jackson, it's well read though, but it's left there. Falls for Newville. Ball into the box. Doesn't get underneath it as he would like. Cleared away by Bolton, but it's just right up into the air. Is that header. Lapsley nearly comes down with it. Poke forward, falls for Sartovic on his left boot, goes for a strike. He almost slices it wide there. It's one of them where it's a chance, but it's more of a half chance. Maybe someone of Sartovic's quality, I don't want to be critical, I'd like to watch a replay back of it before really being critical of him, but he should be doing a bit better. I think his first, he just falls from awkwardly and he has to take a first touch. He's being closed down, but should he do better there?
Yeah, once he controls it on the chest, it gets a little bit too far away from his chest, and then he's forced to just stretch for it a little bit, and the shot, he's never really in full control of his body when he goes for the shot there, and that just makes it a lot more difficult to get it on target.
So Bolton do get us back underway. I want to say, give or take 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage that was. So as I say, it'll just get added on to the end of the game. So neither team will be missing out on those minutes this evening. Bolton on the right hand side with Osai 2-2 back into the skipper Toll, and all the way across the back four as it will meet the left back Johnston. Sartovic, he scored that late goal to make it 2-0 at the time in the last game of the season against Exeter. He scored that massive goal on the last day of the season at Valley Parade last year to send the Bradford up automatically in the top three into this position. Jackson, nice touch into him. I think he's been great since coming in and led the line really well for the Bantams. Of course, they've had players come in January trying to lead the line, and nothing's really worked for them. Stephen Humphreys came in and summer did very well, but Jackson's just been that perfect profile of player that quite clearly Graham Alexander will have wanted, and will be a throw in it for Baldwin on the right hand side. Forward for Newville, headed away by Johnson out for a throw in. But I can imagine that obviously basically just over a year ago, the final day of League 2, Bradford went up. If you said to them you're going to be in they want to go to Wembley, they want to go up the Championship, I'm not going to sit here and say that. But for you to say to them, look, you got in the playoffs and you were in the top 2 for a long time of this season, they probably won't believe it.
No, they wouldn't. I think it's interesting, isn't it? You can draw a comparison to the Premier League, where Sunderland are looking to probably finish 12th or 13th this season, which, based on how they started the season and how they were playing midway in the season, you could say is disappointing. But actually, if you'd have said to any Sunderland fan that you'll be avoiding relegation with about 10 or 12 games to go, they would have been absolutely delighted with that.
If you said to them you'd be comfortably mid-table, they'd go, yes, please. Out of the three, they were probably the favourites to be the down.
Absolutely. They were the playoff winners as opposed to the teams that went up automatically. They seem to have the most work to do in terms of bringing in players to pad out their squad. But as I say, it's been a great season for them. And from Bradford's point of view, that does happen. You see that sides getting promoted in from League 2 into League 1, and then it's like a bounce because the players are on such a high from the previous season that you can use that. And it certainly has been the case for Graham Alexander's side, and they're just finding their feet a bit more in attack now as well.
Looking for back-to-back promotions. Newville down the right-hand side. Johnston does well, and I think he will win the goal kick as well from the linesman, put his flag straight up, or he might have gone out for a throw-in, just waiting for full confirmation. But again, that's what I asked you earlier, it's wing backs against full backs, isn't it? That's great defending from Johnston.
It is, yeah. He gets a little bit of luck in terms of the deflection, but he earned that luck by putting that challenge in. His throw actually, ironically, goes straight onto the head of Nerfield.
It goes straight back to him, and a header away finds the Bradford number 7 ball into the box. Sarcevic went inside and then back, and just in the end it ran a little bit away from him. But good play, but that's a poor pass. Power, he's going to feel that one, but he's not happy with the referee. He's that unhappy that he's got back up and is complaining about it, even though it really took one there.
Sheehan again. Sheehan was on our radar in the first half for that collision, accidentally on purpose, we felt, with Caden Jackson, and this time he's slid in on the captain there, Max Power.
It's one of them where they're both going for it.
I mean, I tell you what, his boot is raised. He's very lucky he doesn't make any real contact there with Power, because that is a poor challenge, I think, from Sheehan.
I believe the referees give a foul for Bradford on a foul against Metcalf, but you are right. The right boot of Sheehan is going to the left of the right leg of Power, but if that connects with his leg, that could have been quite nasty.
Yes, it could have. It really could have, and I think that Max Power is very happy that there wasn't any contact with his leg, and he's also very happy that his side have a free kick because it's in a decent attacking position here.
It's been a good start to the second half, of course. We've played just about 13 minutes, but probably half of that's been spent in stoppage with the change of referee. But again, I think the game's picking up a nice pace now once again. But as Paul rightfully says, free kick coming up the left boot of Torre, the right boot of Metcalf. Sarcevic all alone just on the edge of the area on the left hand side. So it might be a whipped in one here by Torre. Right arm goes up in the air, swings it in, swings it way too much, and catching practice for the keeper.
That's bordering on an awful free kick, really, isn't it? I mean, he's just lifted that into the box. Bonham's made about 3 steps to his right and just caught it, and there was never a Bradford player even close to moving for that one because it was just too high.
You just felt a bit of a moan and a groan, just even in the stadium. We can't hear, we almost felt like, that's disappointing.
Well, absolutely. Bradford are attacking the end where their fans are behind the goal in the second half, and there certainly would have been a few groans from those travelling from West Yorkshire, because that wasn't a good free kick at all, and it's wasted a good little moment there where Bradford were camped outside Bolton's penalty area for a good few minutes.
Yeah, it's trying to get a bit of a momentum, isn't it, in this game, and Bradford had some in the first half. Bolton were more of the momentum, as you would expect, and again, credit to Bradford. I think they've turned up to bring the game to Bolton, but again, there will be that time that it's 10, 15 minutes left, I can imagine. Graham Alexander does want to sit back and take the draw, and I don't blame him. Lovely ball looking for the run there. It'll fall for Cozy Dewberry just inside the box. Curling effort! And it finds the back of the net. It was a lovely ball that went through everyone in the box. Bar Cozy Dewberry was right on the edge of the box, cuts inside on his favoured left boot, finds the bottom corner. It's a lovely strike from the winger, and on the hour mark, Bolton get the goal they will want in this home tie. It's Bolton Wanderers 1, Bradford City 0.
Yeah, Bolton take the lead, and you've got to say that it's a great finish, but it just underlines how important it is to take advantage when you're on top, because Bradford had a good 4 or 5 minute spell ever since we've had that refereeing change where Bolton could barely get the ball away from their own penalty area. They've finally been able to do it. They've gone on the counter and they've scored a fabulous goal. It's Sissoko's ball. It eludes everyone, the intended target in the middle of the penalty area, but then it gets through towards Kozidu. But it's such a good strike, this as well. I mean, nobody's really closing him down. He has as much time as he needs to measure the shot and execute it, but take nothing away. That is a fabulous strike, and it gives the goalkeeper there, Walker, absolutely no chance.
Well, on loan at Brighton, man, only 20 years of age. That's his 10th goal in all competitions for Bolton, and he was having a really good season, and he picked up an injury, and if I'm being honest, I'm not saying I watched Bolton all season, but they really kind of dropped off once Cozy Dewberry was injured. I mean, he's been great this evening. He's got some belters like that this year as well. And I spoke about the wing backs to full backs. That was one there where Torre was so far back that he was basically a centre back, and then it's almost whose man should that have been? Torre's man? Was that that's where I think it can get confusing, can't it? But I just take nothing away from Cozy Dewberry, and now it's not how Bradford's played, because also losing by 1 goal isn't the worst thing in the world for Bradford.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, it's nice that we've seen a goal of quality in a playoff game, because, as I say, the previous 3 games in the playoffs, we saw a really sort of scrambled goal at the end of the game between Stockport and Stevenage and Stockport. The other 2 games in the Championship both finished 0-0, but now a goal of real quality. What was interesting there, the camera just focused on Stephen Schumacher just after Bolton scored, and he was clearly shouting as midfielder, pointing to the box, saying no fouls, like that. So he's clearly saying we're giving too much of the ball away in front of our own penalty area, and we need to avoid that. And in fairness, he makes a point because Bolton did have a couple of those free kicks given away just before they scored.
And I think it was, as you said, a horrible free kick from Torre just minutes ago. But now that Bolton went up and scored, he just adds to it tenfold, doesn't he? Because I'm not going to sit here and say, Bradford should have scored from that. But if you'd have put a good ball in and created a chance, maybe you got a corner. That's a poor pass out. Cozy Djokovic picks it up. He's driving in on his weaker right foot, strikes it off the post, and it goes wide from one post to just past the other and out of play. What a mistake that would have been. Cozy Djokovic nearly at the brace. He's on his weaker right foot. Curtis still with a heavy touch, and then a poor pass. It's right into Cozy Djokovic. Credit to Bold when he gets back to hell. Power. And I think he puts a little bit of pressure on him, but he doesn't do enough, and it's almost just bobbling, and it hits the inside of the post. I thought he was going to hit the other one and go in, but goes wide.
He's hitting it with his weaker right boot this time, and just drags that shot a little bit. He's very unlucky to actually, once it hits the inside of the far post, and it goes along the line, doesn't quite find the near post and goes away. But that's a warning for Curtis Till. That was a pretty basic pass, 5-7 yards with his right foot, and it never got close to its intended target.
Do you think that's as well that they've just gone 1-0 down and Tilt's a bit like, we've got to get on the front foot?
Yeah, I mean, it's that tension now from Bradford that they say they didn't want to concede a goal, but they certainly don't want to concede two.
No, they don't. And of course, this is at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. These two sides, as I said, only played in late April, 2-3 weeks ago. Realistically, Bolton did take the lead in that game, and Bradford did come back. Now, Bradford were at home, so different situations. You go 1-0 down, crowd gets behind you. Now the crowd's on you, realistically, because Bolton are the home side, and they'll be cheering for a second. But only recently, Bolton have taken the lead against Bradford, and Bradford came back. So, even back, ball forward, fall right. Header back, there's a bit of head tennis in the middle. Burstow brings it down into Sissoko, and it's as cliche as it comes, but confidence brings it with goals. And right now Bolton are looking very confident. Cozy Dewberry flicks it over the head of Tilt, but too much on it, and Max Power gets there in the end. Torre pokes it off of him, and you can just see as well the fans have been great all evening, but you just see now the Cozy Dewberry nearly wins a throw, and they're almost, yes, let's go get a second, because it wouldn't kill the game, but a 2-0 lead going into the second leg would be massive.
No, it really would, and as I say, these fans have been starved of success for a long time. They've been very pleased with how their season's gone this season, so they just really want to get it over the line and make sure that they are at Wembley for that playoff final. And they feel like they will probably want to get another goal here this evening just to really put themselves in a much stronger position. They have it now here in the middle with Sheehan over the top to Cozy Dewberry.
Can he get on the end of it? No, we can't. The linesman's flag goes up. Well defended by Wright. He just almost put that pressure on him and keep up with him, but just a little bit too much on it. But all I can say is, obviously this is League One, Premier League. Manchester City for Doku, they just pinged it out to him when he was on form in that game we covered at half-time. If I'm Bolton, I'm just giving it to Cozy Dewberry going, you're the man on form right now, bring us another goal.
No, absolutely. I think that he's looking for the ball every time, and if he gets another opportunity like that, he's going to want to take it. But now a ball over the top here for Jackson to chase, just about dealt with by Toll.
Looks like Tyreek Wright is being prepared for Bradford City, and whether he comes on in that front three or maybe even as a wing back to add more attacking prowess, it is a forward thinking change from Graham Alexander. Good play from Metcalf to bring it forward down the left. 1-2 with himself and Torre. Pokes it forward, but it's deflected away, but only back to Torre. Thinks it forward for Sarcevic. Nice back heel into Torre. Cross comes and it's blocked away out for a corner. This would be a good response for Bradford, and even if they just now get a little bit of momentum, they've got to get the swing of things back into their favour. Tyreek Wright is ready to go. I don't think it'll happen before this corner kick. We don't usually see that. He's just getting his last minute information, if you will, right, this is what we like to see, this is what we don't like to see. Sometimes I do think they give players that much information when they're coming on. It's hard to realise what you want.
They're just trying to focus on getting on the field, really.
Yeah, they're like, you want me to do this and this and this. It can get quite confusing, I could imagine. Corner will come up though. It's a packed out 6-yard box. It looks like it'll be an in-swinger from Power. He's usually the man on set-piece duties. That's why it shocked me when Torre took that one a few moments ago. It suited the left footer, yes, but Power's usually a good deliverer of the ball as well. It's an in-swinger. Curse of the commentator, doesn't even beat the first man there. Metcalf with a strong header back out to the left-hand side. Torre, no. Jackson back to Power. That time Sissoko takes it off the toes of Power, and forward come Bolton on the counter. Sissoko, he had Burstow to his right, wanted to play it to Cozy Dubry, and he's almost played it into the place of Cozy Dubry, but hit it with the power of where it would go to Burstow.
Yeah, it's not quite the right pass out. And it's a shame because that was a good opportunity for Bolton to counter. You can see straight away that Bradford are trying to get that get that ball forward and try and keep it in that final third, but Bolton have just got that bit more resilience about them now that they have that goal as well.
Long ball forward looking for Lapsley. He actually takes down Arahan, and that will be his last piece of play. So it'll be George Lapsley coming off and Tyreek Wright coming on in his place. And I think Tyreek Wright, he's one of them where he's a really good player, I won't doubt that. I don't know, to me he's an out-and-out winger, and in that forward three and a 3-4-3, you're not a winger, you're not an attacking midfielder, you're a bit in between, and I think he's been awkward in that, whereas I think in this formation he maybe suits a wing back a bit better for me, because he can get out wide and provide crosses.
He can, and that's what they're going to want him to do. As the ball is played back towards Walker, he just about gets there first, but it was a touch and go for a moment. Does get a decent clearance, and it's out for a throw to Bolton, but this goal has certainly worked as a boost for Bolton, and it's actually worked as a bit of a... It seems to have tempered Bradford a little bit, but now they've got a chance with the ball over the top to the new man right.
Yeah, he's looking to come on, and again will he play off the left-hand side of the front three, the right-hand side. I say that he's left-footed, and he did score a screamer cutting inside from the right on his preferred left boot a few weeks ago, so that might be the strength. And he's a pacey forward as well, the former Plymouth man. Ball forward to the right to Newville. Looks like he will be playing off the left, and now Sarcevic has come over to the right. But you will say, obviously, that means they're on the favoured foot to put balls into the box and go for first time shots. It will be a throw-in on the right hand side for Baldwin to take for the Bantams. Tries to throw it into the feet of Jackson, who's been rather quiet in the second half. Ball back to the keeper Bonham, and Wright read it well, but just couldn't get on the end of it. Ball forward, nodded down by Burstow. Ball in behind from Cozy Dubry, looking for the run there of Rodriguez. Nothing comes of it though, but a good idea. And again, you can just feel Bolton, if they can get that second goal, it'll be absolutely massive. Jackson heads it on, and it's cleared away at the back by Farino. Bit of head tennis in the middle, comes away over there, does Arahan? No, he doesn't. Ball back to Baldwin, switches a lovely pass out to Torre on the left hand side, flicks it forward for Wright. They're looking to link up. That could be dangerous down the left hand side for the Bantams. Two pacey wing back in Torre, and same with Tyreek Wright. He's on a 1-on-1 here against his full back offside 2-2. Goes back to his wing back Torre. Power. He might be someone to maybe drag the Bantams forward, I'm not too sure. Jackson, he tries to bring it down, it's cleared away. Metcalf, nice first touch. He's got Rodriguez all over him like a rash, but does well just to get rid of the ball. And this is better from Bradford down the right hand side into the left for Tyreek Wright. Ball into the box is deflected away. Not sure, looks like he might have gone out for a throw-in, definitely a throw-in or a corner. And they want to take it quickly, they want to up the momentum, they want to try and get momentum back on their side. Create a few chances, they've only had 2 shots, both have been off target, both have been for Sarcevic. And I say off target, one was off target, one was blocked away in the first half, excuse me. But the Bantams are getting on the ball, but Bolton do lead. We're approaching 70 minutes on the clock. It's independent off-tube studio commentary. There's a warm welcome if you are joining us for the second half of this second half. It's Bolton Wanderers 1, Bradford City 0, and to take us through to full time, I'll pass you over to Paul.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Yeah, we're going to get a change here immediately. It looks like it's going to be a Mason Burstow going off. He's not really had that much service this evening, has he? He's not really had too many opportunities to actually get on the end of something and try and increase his side's lead, or indeed before him when it was still 0. But he's off, and it's Xavier Simons coming on to replace him. Yeah,
it will be, and I can imagine that's just trying to show the midfield. Might even go to midfield 3. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to see how it does. And one thing as well, I always, just because I remember a player saying this, sometimes when your manager does it, because that's not defensive change, that's just be sure in the midfield, isn't it? If your manager makes a defensive change, just in your, he wants me to defend a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
So that could be the mental change onto the players.
It could be, I think. If that is the case, is it a mistake for Bolton to start shutting up shop with 20 minutes to go? I mean, a 1-0 lead, I'm sure Steven Schumacher will be very happy with that going into the second leg. But say a 2-0 lead sounds even better, and there's pressing here straight away on the new man Simons. He has to go back towards the edge of his own penalty. Just a quick glance across to the game in Scotland. It is still 1-1. They are about 6 minutes behind us. They had a lot of added time with those VAR checks at the end of the first half. So the game between Motherwell and Hearts is 1-1, and that is on 66 minutes. We're at 71 minutes here as Bolton leading as Bradford by a goal to nil. A ball over the top is too long in the end. It's an easy save for Sam Walker. Doesn't waste any time. He boots that one long. It's headed on by Wright. The loose ball down the left-hand side is one that Toure was supposed to chase, but it looks like Tutu gets there first. He plays it up towards the halfway line. Nice spin and turn there as well. So the ball has been won back, and actually it looks like Burstow's still on the field then.
I was just having a look because we saw the confirmation it was Burstow.
We definitely did. It's not like we made that up, but it is actually a Crown who's gone off in the end.
Yes, we saw it was Burstow, the pictures of him, and I was just double checking on one of our social media feeds, and it is so. Yeah, that was confusing me. I just had to double check that.
Well, we suggested we check that. The ball's into the penalty area. It's only been partially cleared. His hair scoops up in the air. They're headed away towards the edge of the area. Sartovic finally gets his head onto that. Say apologies. We're working off the TV pictures in our off-tube commentary. It definitely said that Burstow was going off, but actually Simon's coming on for Rekrahan makes more sense because Simons can play in that attacking midfield role, whereas putting him up front or trying to rejig the midfield to make up for the fact that Burstow was gone off seemed to be a little bit confusing for us in any case. And Burstow fighting for that ball in midfield, a combination of him and Sissoko almost win the ball back for Bolton before Aidan Baldwin steps in and gets that ball back for Bradford City. It's now with captain Max Power just rolling it towards Toure here on the left-hand side. The Bantams need to inject a little bit more pace, a little bit more belief into what they're doing. There's still a game to be won here for sure. Maybe this evening it's going to be difficult to reverse a one-goal deficit into a lead, but they can certainly work towards getting an equaliser and just trying to wear this Bolton side down because they have had good spells in this game, but Bolton just looking that little bit more confident now that they have that lead. And it's a nice 1-2 here between Burstow and Sissoko. Here's Sissoko now at the edge of the area, just trying to get away from Baldwin, but Baldwin sticks to his task, and I think he might have actually won his side a throw. I thought he could have done there, but in the end the throw does go Bolton's way.
It does, and it's a good lively play from Sissoko still, isn't it? Just watching this half chance, Cozy Drewbury put the ball into the box, and there's just a lot of no one really dealt with it, did he? And then it's a strike that Burstow just gets completely wrong, but Bolton still coming forward to win a corner.
They do win a corner. We didn't actually see the throw on. It was just we were just getting the back end of those replays of the Burstow chance. We come back to live picture, and the ball was deflected out after the throw on. So now it is a corner kick to the Trotters now here on the left-hand side. And Farino Joseph, amongst others, is up inside the penalty area. See what kind of set piece they have in mind this time. It's going to be that man again, Ruben Rodriguez. He tends to be the overall most of Bolton's set pieces. Decent ball into the 6-yard box. It's nodded clear by Nerfield, and now a chance for a counter attack. The initial challenge, 2 great challenges from Sheehan there. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe he's a little bit unlucky because he got away with one in the first half that we've still never seen a replay of. But that said, on that occasion, I actually thought maybe the first one was a slight foul, but then the second one, I thought he wins the ball.
Yeah, I thought the second one was really good, if I'm quite honest. Lunging in, but correctly lunging in to win the ball was really good. And he always feels like every time he goes in, there's going to be no in between. He's either going to clatter the player, or he's going to clatter the player and win the ball. So he's going to clatter you either way, but his timing the tackle, I feel, is either fantastic or quite poor. There's no in between.
Yes, that's right. And on that occasion, he was a little bit maybe harshly adjudged to have committed a foul, but now a throw on to Bolton deep inside their own half here on the right hand side, and it's going to be Jordi Asaya Tutu to restart play here. Throws that one in towards Kozia Dubry. It's played back to Asaya Tutu up towards the halfway line. It's over the head of Ruben Rodriguez, but then she's it up for Sissoko, and Sissoko then plays it down the left hand side here for Johnston. Johnston does have options down the left hand side, but the ball is deflected away here by Aidan Baldwin. And out for a throw, taken back towards the halfway line here now for Joe Wright. So we have got 2 rights on the field now, of course, Joe Wright and Tyreek Wright, and it's on the right-hand side now with but in the meantime, Bolton trying to push forward here down their right-hand side. It's played all the way back towards the halfway line. And from Bolton's point of view now, with just under 15 minutes to go, I think what they're trying to do is just keep as much possession. They're not necessarily desperate to be in the final third, but the idea is to make sure that Bradford don't have the ball. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, because in the meantime, Sheen has broken into the box. That's a decent ball there from Kozia Dubry to find him. Oh, and Rodriguez has been brought down. Was he fouled? A strike comes in, it goes wide of the mark. And in the end, I think it's just been given as a goal kick. But Ruben Rodriguez picking himself up, he can't believe it. He thought he might have been due a penalty there.
I thought it was a bit of a lazy leg put out. Honestly, it was Neufeld who put it out, and it was again just a melee of players in the box.
He probably just about gets the ball there, Neufeld, does he? Or does he? I don't think he does.
No.
It's a tough one, that I think. There was an argument that could have been a penalty for Bolton there.
100%. What I will say is, and I'm not trying to say you've got to ask the question, but it was only Rodriguez. The rest of his teammates kind of looked with a hope of, referee, you're going to give us a penalty. Whereas I'm not saying if you're furious, that means a penalty, but you just sometimes just see, like, is he just hoping that the referee gives him one to a degree? But it is clumsy from Neufeld.
Oh, it is, absolutely is. I think from Neufeld is a clumsy one, and he gets away with one there. As Bolton now trying to get forward again. Bradford very briefly had possession. They're going to get possession, but that was surely out of play there. The linesman perhaps just not paying attention. I thought the pass from Asay to Kozia Dubry clearly went out of play, but referee says play on. Bolton back in possession now at the edge of their own penalty area. Toal with the ball over the top is looking for Burstow. The ball just bouncing away from him in the end, and Walker comes out to make the save.
Yeah, I mean, as well, unfortunately for Walker, there'll be, I think, 7 games without a clean sheet as well now coming into this game. Bolton coming into these 8 games without a clean sheet. So there's goals to be had there. I think it's just one of them, isn't it, where I think maybe even both teams are thinking we just don't want a mistake now for everything. Bradford don't want to make a mistake, get a second, concede a second. Bolton don't want to make a mistake and give Bradford one. It's even maybe tenser than it was at 0-0. Of course, Bolton will be happy with that 1-0. But if anything, with 15, well, we might have 20 minutes to play with the stoppages. I think just both teams have that little bit of more of an eye on the second leg, even more.
Yes, they do. I mean, it's unavoidable, isn't it? You think that it's all about just winning the game this evening, but it's also about setting your stall out for the next game. From Bradford's point of view, if they push too much for an equaliser, they could concede a second. That makes things more difficult. If you're giving them the choice of being 1-0 down and don't take any risks, or being 2-0 down with risk, they'll probably go for option B. But now the ball through, and it's a great chance here now into the penalty. Oh, is there going to be a foul here? The referee following this one, and he says play on. It's a penalty. No, it's a handball. Referee, well, goodness me, I have to say, I thought our replacement referee David Rock was going to give a penalty to Bradford. He allowed all of that action there where Jackson was breaking into the box, and in the end, as Jackson fell and he handled it, the referee has given a handball against the Bradford man.
I think it's a lovely, first of all, watch the replay back. Lovely ball from Tyreek. Right, I think Jackson does ever so well. There is
a foul.
It is a foul. It's the left arm of Jackson and then the right arm of Chris Farina. He has his left arm, he's pulling him back, and he goes down. It's for me watching it back, especially because he stops him shooting as well. That's the more important thing for me. And it's a handball because it's not a handball because how many times you see someone get a foul and they think it's theirs and they grab it. He doesn't do it. He falls onto it with his right arm, I want to say, and then Sarcevic follows it over a strike off the outside of the post. It wouldn't have been a goal. But to say that is a handball and it's not just a goal kicking the referee. The referee says, I don't think it's a penalty. Okay, you think that's fair enough. Jackson will go off, but that's a big talking point of the game. For me, especially watching on the replay, that's got to be a penalty.
Yeah, to me it is. And Nick Power now coming on to replace Caden Jackson for these last few minutes. And this isn't a like-for-like swap, really, is it?
No. You can imagine maybe, I know he just played the ball through, but maybe Tyreek Wright with his pace in behind. Maybe you put him up top, maybe play Sarcevic as a false 9, I'm not too sure.
And Powell's a bit more of a battering ram, is he?
Yes. I mean, he can play up top, but he's more of a drop-off, link-up kind of striker. Yeah. Of course, he's had quite a storied career now, hasn't he, around the lower leagues. The former Manchester United came up at Crewe Alexander. And he's got a goal in him, but he's not that attacking threat that Jackson is. So maybe Wright goes up there because he's got the pace in behind.
Oh, indeed. But we're going to get some changes here for Bolton now as well. Ruben Rodriguez, who himself felt he had a good shout for a penalty at the other end a few minutes ago. He's now going off the field. Just confirm who's replacing him. Getting high fives around. A decent performance, I thought, from Rodriguez in midfield this evening. The other man to go off is the man that we were told was going off, but we are going to wait to see him physically walk off the field before we make any more notes on our sheet. But now confirmation that for the second time, and actually really this time, Mason Burstow is off the field. So Burstow is off. Ruben Rodriguez is off, and it's McAtee and Dolby coming on to replace them.
Yeah, and like for like, of course, Dalby can play up top, and I can imagine that is, and Rodriguez coming off of McAtee. If anything, McAtee's more of the attacking midfielder, but I can imagine maybe Xavier Simons drops a bit deeper, if anything. And again, maybe that is also a sign of, look, I want to push for a second goal from Steven Schumacher.
Absolutely, that's the idea from I think from Steven Schumacher's perspective. What his side need to do, of course, is to just not give Bradford too many openings. And already that penalty shout, the fact that it hasn't been given is one thing, but the fact that Bradford even had that chance would have already been a bit of a worry for Steven Schumacher. That kind of ball from Tyreek Wright was even getting through to Jackson. But now a long ball played through towards Powell, who's in an offside position when he's jostling for full position there, and Dolby as well as the judge to have committed the foul in the end. No, sorry, Dolby is adjudged to have been offside, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the stats, 12 shots, 1 on target for Bolton, 2 shots for Bradford, both off target. Of course, there has to be the caveat. Those 12, I want to say 7 of those 12 shots have been blocked. So I think it makes look a lot worse. 12 shots, 1 on target, doesn't it? But also that's good defending from Bradford then to me. But it's also, to a degree, it was a lovely ball into the box, I thought, from Sissoko for the goal. It's almost, we've got a decent game here. Both teams are very good footballing sides. That's why they're in the playoffs. But it's, as you spoke about, tension, and can you get over the line almost in these first legs, and you just get there sometimes. And it's almost, can someone come up with a little bit of magic? Because Djokovic falls for him, curls one beautifully in. That's been the difference maker this season.
Absolutely, and I think that has been the real moment of quality in this game. There have been a couple of controversial moments. Both sides, I think, had a fair shout for a penalty. There may well have been a red card shout for in favour of Bradford, with Sheehan getting a straight red in the first half. We only have live pictures to tell you of because we never saw a replay of that. But now Bolton on the attack down the right-hand side. It's the goal scorer, Kozia Dubry. His cross is blocked, and a bit of miscommunication there. Powell dropped a bit deeper. Wright's pass goes ahead of him, and Bolton now have it back with Johnston out towards Sissoko. Ball into the box from the left-hand side. Walker is jumping for it. Bolton want a corner kick. Walker was saying that he was being pushed off the ball as he was trying to jump for it, but the referee doesn't agree, and this will be a corner kick to the home side. Yeah,
they want to continue the momentum, but if anything, take it away, as you spoke about, taking it away from Bradford almost, isn't it? So I'm just having a look as well. 2,000 travelling fans for Bradford. I think they took more in the league game. I know allocations might be a bit different, but 22, just under 23,000. I mean, credit to everyone there, because I can imagine as well that's almost cheered Bolton on, hasn't it?
No, it really has. As I say, they've been starved of success at this club for a long time, and they'll be desperate that there'll be one more game to come. Well, obviously the game against Bradford, and then the final to come as well at Wembley in a couple of weeks' time. But right now, Bolton have won themselves a corner as Walker wasn't fouled according to the referee. Simons' ball is an awful one. He's overhit that so much that it's gone straight out for a goal kick on the other side of the goal. That's just gone all over everybody's head, and that is awful.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, hitting the first man or that. Maybe that, because you at least have got air on it. He's still very, very poor, especially for Simons, who I know he's a substitute, but sometimes I think when you bring someone on that don't really do much, as a manager you probably go, maybe I've made the wrong one there, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can just be, as you say, he's trying too hard to sort of make up for the fact he's had a quiet game so far and he's overthought it. Because I suppose if you gave him 20 of those in training, he wouldn't do that a single time. But it's just in the cauldron of a live game, suddenly he just overthinks it too much. And that header from him wasn't great either, just giving that ball straight away, giving it away towards Nick Powell. Down the left-hand side, Toure under a bit of pressure, but he's able to lift that one down the left-hand side, and it's an opportunity now here for Tyreek Wright to get on the ball into the penalty area. His cross is charged down. Good work there from Toal, and it's out for a corner kick to Bradford.
And again, we speak about a piece of magic from Kozia Dubry, which is exactly what it was for his goal. It can take those set pieces, just a good set piece and a good header, that again, it's because it's so close and tense, it's the little pieces of games. Again, if that's a penalty and you score, that it's 1-1, isn't it? It's not given. That's the little pieces. This could get an equaliser from this.
Yeah, it's going to be an in-swinger here from the left-hand side. It's a good ball in. It's headed clear towards the edge of the area. It's going to be kept alive here about 35 yards out. Only just, though. So real being harangued there was Metcalf, but he gets the ball out towards Nerfield on the right-hand side. Nerfield breaks into the box. Oh, that pass in is just a little bit too far ahead of Sartovic. Then there's a little bit of a collision inside the Bolton penalty area. 2 players are down. Referee says play on. Bradford still have it alive on the left-hand side. Max Power, ball in. It's headed down by Sarcevic, and then it's a loose ball which is hooked clear as far as it will go from Simons up towards the halfway line, where immediately it's been recycled as Bradford tried to get this ball back into the penalty area. Immediately he's aimed at Sarcevic. Header is good, but it's across the 6-yard box. It was actually Powell's header into Sarcevic, but in any case it bounces all the way through towards the goalkeeper Jack Bonham. But Bradford are certainly trying at the end here.
They are, and Powell stays 6 foot on. I'm not saying he's a target forward or anything like that, but he's got a good aerial presence about him, hasn't he? So he can win those headers. Again, they're almost playing without an out-and-out number 9, but the 3 players have got a great finishers. But here come Bolton.
Here do come Bolton down the right-hand side. Sissoko towards the edge of the area. That's unfortunate from Max Power, because as he deflects that ball off Sissoko, he can't stop it from going all the way behind the line for a corner.
As well, he was not happy with his defenders there at all. I thought he was going to go to the referee first, but he really was giving a screaming shout. And that's where your leadership shines, in the terms of having to go to people or not having to go, and finding that right balance. And just almost, he's a player where he's out on his sleeve, so you also understand how he is about stuff. But look, even see about this corner, Sheen's going over, round applause, and slowing it down.
Absolutely, yes. He's moving that ball from one side of the quadrant to the other, or anything just to try and eke out a couple of seconds. And honestly, it's quite a skill footballers have in wasting time in their own arena. There's very few other sports that do it to the extent that football does, really, and the fact that we all cheer it on as fans as well. But here comes the corner kick from Sheehan, cleared towards the edge of the area, kept alive, and now it's Simons. Doesn't want to go for goal, he just clips the ball into the 6-yard box, just a little bit too far away in the end. From the dive that was coming in at the far post. It was a decent effort, but the ball goes out for a goal kick.
It's a good idea, is that they just chip one into the back post. Hopefully someone's running on there. It's not too far away from Johnson, and what you would say is on his weaker left foot for Simons, he's put a better ball in than his cross as well. So, yes, as you said, he put it in 9 times out of 10. He's got it in his locker, obviously. Yeah,
absolutely, and he does very well with that one, as a long ball now cleared over the halfway line. Into the last 2.5 minutes before we see quite a bit of added time, as Tyreek Wright will chase that ball only until when the linesman confirms that he is offside, and that will be a free kick to Bolton. But to say, I'm probably thinking 4 or 5 minutes we probably get added to the end of this second half, maybe even a couple of minutes longer. Can see Graham Alexander with a couple of his assistants there getting very frustrated, because he'll feel as though, there's a moment of quality that gave Bolton the lead, but Bradford have had enough possession this evening to feel as though they could have been more competitive.
Yeah, 100%. And I know, again, stats aren't everything in football, but you look and you go, right, all we created was 2 shots, 1 was blocked and one was off a target. That's pretty poor, realistically, isn't it? So that's something they'll be upset about. But they've had a lot of balls, haven't they, in the right areas, as you say, but a poor cross, or they're not having the final pass or the final shots being the problem. Here come Bolton in search for a second down the left-hand side with Sissoko.
Yeah, Sissoko dances away from 2, then he gets brought down, does he? No, it's a dive from Sissoko. That's what the referee says. Baldwin was really looking quite nervously towards the referee, and now Sissoko can't believe it. It's that smile of frustration that he's been booked when he felt. There is a little bit of a skip up there from him, but looking at this replay now, to say that there's no contact with him at all. I suppose he's been booked for just maybe over-egging it slightly.
Maybe. Maybe the referee is saying that the connection is because you've jumped up and not jumped into the back, but you jumping up has gone into the back of Baldwin. But he's also, I think he would say, he's trying to save himself from getting, that safety of...
Yes.
That when a slide tackle comes in, you try and jump over it. Doesn't mean you're not going to get caught by it. I think it's a bit of, I would just let player go. And I don't think he's trying to dive, but I don't think it's really a foul either.
No, I think I certainly think he's unlucky to get a yellow card for that. But Bradford, they certainly won't care, because they're up the other end now with Sarcevic, and he's trying to get the ball away from Kozia Dubry. Just about keeps it alive. It's rolled back, and it's gone out for a throw to Bolton, despite Kozia Dubry's best appeals. But we'll see here. Actually, he has got a point. Toure clearly touches it last.
Yeah, and I think he's given maybe even the free kick as well, or it might have just been as for him. But what they've got to do now, it's almost, again, you saw that being given, and you saw the fans go, what's going on? You're 1-0 up. Don't get frustrated now and make a mistake.
But you're absolutely right. It's been given as a free kick. I can't really see where the foul was. We're going to get 9 minutes of added time at the end of this game. So let's hope we're ready for it, because it's going to be Power now with the ball in from the left-hand side. The keeper's missed it, and it's been hooked clear Oh, Bonham came out. He got nowhere near it. The ball's been played back into the penalty area. In the meantime, there is an offside, and that will be a free kick to Bolton.
It's a lovely delivery, and the goalkeeper, I don't know if a foul's been given against him or it's an offside. It is a free kick. We'll see if anyone's offside. It's very close, so I don't think anyone. Maybe Curtis Tilt's offside, or it might be that the foul's been given against the goalkeeper for collision. It's a free kick for Bolton either way. Good delivery into the box, and Bonham has taken a bit of a whack for his troubles. But for a second there, if there wasn't that Bolton defender, I want to say it was Xavier Simons there. Someone might go back, but that might have trickled into the back of the net.
That could have easily trickled into the back of the net. I mean, Bonham isn't the best goalkeeper on crosses. It's always been a bit of an Achilles heel for him, and he's still grimacing in pain a little bit as he takes that free kick. Obviously, he was caught a little bit as he went for that ball. Now there's a collision in the middle of the park. Simmons is down on the ground, but he picks himself up quickly, thankfully. Because, as I say, you never want to see a head injury. It was a collision there between Simons and Nick Powell. Powell's certainly been putting himself about since he's come on the field.
Yes, he's been a bit of a menace so far, hasn't he? And he is playing that central role, but... And again, Caden Jackson's pressed well. He's put himself about as well. They're not like for like, though, are they, in terms of a striker? Powell is one of them to me, that he's got the finishing ability of a striker, but he ain't got the instincts of a striker, making runs in behind and that. So it's been a good sub, but 9 minutes of stoppage time. I mean, I probably think with those 9 minutes, you're probably happier as a Bradford fan than a Bolton fan.
Yes, I think so. I think Bradford will feel as though this is a good opportunity for them. Bolton would have been quite happy to see a 3 or a 4 goal. It was always going to be a bit more than 3 or 4 with the refereeing change, but I think 9's probably 2 or 3 minutes longer than both of us was expecting. And ball now over the top, and it's a decent header on there by Dalby, but he's committed a foul, says the referee, which clearly the Bolton man isn't happy about this, Sam Dalby. But we'll have a look from this replay. I mean, in fairness to him, I think it's a foul, but at least he's clever enough never to look at the man. He's always looking at the ball.
That's what I was just about to say. Watching it, it is a foul, but he is that he's spotted. He's very clever, not just going, that's my defender there. So the referee blatantly sees you look at him. It's just that peripheral vision, isn't it? I know I'm going to do this, but I'm not looking. But the referees, I'm looking at the ball, ref, all the time. I'm looking at the ball. That's very clever from him, but also I do think it is a foul.
Yeah, it is a foul. A free kick's been taken. Nerfield's off down the right-hand side. Good challenge there from Sissoko, who's just started to feel a bit of pain after that challenge. Funny that when you're 1-0 up and there's a lot of injury time just been announced, but maybe not. Maybe I'm being cynical, but in any case, Bradford have won themselves a throw on. It's level with the edge of the area, and it's that captain again, Max Power. He's going to launch this ball into the 6-yard box, or as close as he can to get it to that 6-yard box, using the fact that you can't be offside, but the ball is into the penalty area. It's only partially cleared. Sarcevic then makes a real mess of that shot, so much so that it won't even go out for a goal kick. It will still be kept in play. Tyreek Wright is then brought down. I thought he might have been brought down. Referee says play on, and then the ball is played back. It's hooked into the penalty area. It's nodded clear. Still half a chance here for Bradford before eventually it's Kozia Dubry that puts his foot through that, and it's a long clearance, and it's one for McAtee to chase, but that's good work there from Curtis Tilt. Make sure that he can just get over the ball and then draws the foul from McAtee.
And McAtee, again, he's looking at the ref. How's that a free kick? And it is a free kick. If that was the opposite way around, McAtee would be on the floor asking for the free kick. He's not wrong. Lovely ball. Here come Bradford.
Here come Bradford. It's a ball in from the left-hand side. It's deflected into it's into the side netting. There may have actually been a handball or something against Nick Powell there, just as that ball was being played in. But in any case, the effort from Wright hits the side netting.
It was a lovely ball out to Torre. And the ball into box, I think, is fantastic. Tyreek Wright is offside. It's more the question, did it come off of Powell or the Bolton defender anyway? Bolton are going to make a change, and I can imagine this is again trying... Sissoko is right next to the field anyway. I was thinking, is it going to be the right back and all the way off the field? Is he going to try and come, for example, Max Conway is coming on for Sissoko, and that is a defensive change, but with, 4 or 5 minutes left, you can't really...
No, it absolutely is. I think from Bolton's point of view, they just want to try and see the game out now. No more surprises. And they are 1-0 up. We've got 4.5 minutes of added time still to play. So there is still time for Bradford to get back in, and Bradford are certainly trying. That's probably what's caused Steve Schumacher to make that change in the last minute or so, is the fact that the last few minutes have been much better for Bradford, and they can sense that perhaps Bolton are just starting to, maybe not panic, but certainly just getting a little bit impatient for that full-time whistle now.
Yeah, and it's just the frustration of these little fouls as they might have a chance.
Oh, they may have a chance. The ball's broken through. McAtee just couldn't quite control the awkward bounce. The ball is still inside the penalty area. A Bolton man goes down a little bit too theatrical. The referee immediately says no penalty. penalty. Ball is then cleared up towards the halfway line where Powell holds it up. He then switches play out towards the left-hand side, and Tyreek Wright is onside. He needs some support though from his teammates. There's 5 arriving inside the penalty area now. Wright puts it onto his left end, but rolls it back towards the arriving support here in Toure. Toure playing a quick 1-2 with Wright. He then puts the cross in, which is charged down, and he goes out for a Bradford corner.
A credit to Cozy Dubry there. He's a goal scorer, and he got back there and helped out, didn't he? McAtee just never really fell for him. I mean, there is not a grab of the arm by Bolton, but he does collide with him. But then I think McAtee, his own balance takes him over, and also I just think actually that both. And he looks at the ball and goes, "Oh, this is the left leg, maybe catches him."
I think he crashes into the Bradford man first. Yeah. I think he crashes into Baldwin a little bit first, tries to get a little bit of position, and then as Baldwin's falling, makes a bit of contact. So I think it's probably the right decision not to give anything for that one.
What I would say as well is if it wasn't given for Jackson, I think that's probably the right decision as well.
Well, here comes the corner kick from Power. It's a tame punch in the end from Bonham, but credit where it's due. It does reach the edge of the area. Just didn't look too confident there, the goalkeeper. Nerfield now down the right-hand side, deflects that ball. Bolton want to throw. They're not going to get it. It's going to be a throw to Bradford. Still 2.5 minutes of added time to play here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. Just a quick glance across to Scotland. No changes. They're into added time as well in the game between Motherwell and Hearts. So are they points dropped there for Hearts and Midlothian? Is there still a little bit of a chance there for Celtic potentially to overtake Hearts? Of course, they have a big game against each other, don't they, before the end of the season? But now a long throw here from Baldwin into the Bolton penalty area is nodded clear. It's then played straight back towards the edge of the Bolton penalty area here on the left-hand side, kept in play by Wright, but that's a good challenge there from Asay. Tutu puts it out for a throw.
And it's going to be a long throw. Torres going to take it short, but the bodies are in the box still.
They are still. I thought it might have made more sense to actually take a long throw there, but it's played back towards the halfway line where we have Max Power here for Bradford. Long ball down the right-hand side. Oh, it's just over the head of Nerfield in the end, out for a throw, and this is good news as far as Bolton are concerned, because it just means they can slow things down. And so we're just getting on-screen confirmation of what we could have told you half an hour ago, that Amario Kozia-Dubry is the man of the match, player of the match.
The player of the match. He's had 3 shots. Again, for me, what stood out is, for example, getting back and blocking that shot as well, and his defensive work.
Well, yeah, and that's proven in the stat we just saw there. He's won possession 6 times for his team. For any forward play, that's very good to get 6 turnovers yourself. Is very important, but Bradford, they haven't said the last word in this game yet. Long ball down the left-hand side, it's over here. It was chased all the way there by Ibu Toure, but it's just a bit too fast for him in the end. And with just a minute of added time to play now, Bolton feels that they've done the job.
Yeah, they will do. And it's one of them, isn't it? You've won your home leg. That's all you kind of want to do, don't you? Whether it's your first or second leg. Well, you get that. I mean, watching the go back, it's a beautiful strike from Kozia-Dubry. He curls it. He's in the side netting. That's how much he's curled, and it's beautiful from the on-loan youngster. But it's one of them where Bradford as well, if it was 2 goals, I think it's that sinking feeling of we've got a bit of a mountain to climb. 1 goal, Bolton will be happy because they've won. You've kept a clean sheet as well. But Bradford will sit and go, well, as long as we win, we'll go to extra time. And then, look, maybe with the fans on our side, we go and win by 2 goals. So
anything can happen. Bolton can have their goalkeeper pull up with an injury inside 5 minutes. They can give a penalty away 3 minutes later and be down to 10 men. As long as you've got a competitive chance in a one goal deficit in any playoff game with no away goals is always a competitive chance, I would say. And Bolton just chasing down the last ball here. It's going to get all the way to the edge of the area. It was chased by McAtee, but it's now cleared, and it's over the halfway line. We've had the full 9 minutes. It's just a case of whether David Rook wants to add any more time on top of the 9 minutes. He's gone out for a throw to Bolton down their right-hand side. There can't be much more time left in this game now. Stephen Schumacher looks on nervously. Graham Alexander looks on a little bit more sort of frustratingly, really. I think he knows that his side have probably wasted a bit of a chance this evening. But those Bolton fans impatiently now waiting for this whistle. Taking a while for Bolton to restart play as well, which is no surprise. But now the referee has decided that is going to be enough for the game this evening. Bolton have beaten Bradford 1-0 after that lovely strike from Amario Kozia-Dubry. And it's Bolton that have the advantage heading into the second leg, which will be available on our service coming up in midweek. But that's it for our commentary this evening from myself, Paul Shabakovic and Lewis Raftery. Thank you very much. Do join us again soon.